Hello guys, I'm attempting here to make like a really quick, and with really quick I mean 30 minutes guide on all things Bannerlord, how to race, like which skills are good, how to race them efficiently, what to watch out for, what not to do, how to make money, how to still make money with workshops as you can see, or with smithing. You can see this is in the 1.2 beta patch, so it's still gonna be current next week. If they crash it then the week after, I can tell you, but for now this will work. Now we start off with the simple thing, and I saw a lot of uproar about the potteries not earning money anymore. Look at here, you can see smithy at Marunat. It's not one smithy, it is two in that city. They're making me 1,050 per day. That is 500 per smithy. The brewery itself, it does 450. They're still very good. Honestly, just those three workshops that I have for role-playing reasons. I don't need the money, but that is a huge army you can field. Alright, it still works. Caravans still work. It's just that sometimes they will blow up now. Also, maybe you see Bordereau the Brave's party excess gold plus 1091 and Villager the Black's party excess gold 2163. Those are the parties. They basically work like caravans, but instead of trading they hunt looters and enemy lords and so on. Right? If you want like something like this, you can absolutely get yourself companions where you can raise their steward very high because they need it. Quartermaster increases the party size the higher you have it, right? And for yourself it's really not important because you can have huge armies without it, but for your companions it's a bit different. They can make good use of it. Now, these skills are rather boring. What it always does is you swing faster, deal more damage. One-handed is a lot about shield. Much to say about it. Polearm is probably the least useful of them because polearm, either you're using a two-handed weapon and then you would ask yourself, well, why don't you use a two-handed axe because you can cleave through several people with that, or a two-handed sword for having a nice sweet spot, right? And if you use a polearm and lance, then that is so much damage it always one-shots anyway, or you're on a horse and use the speed bonus to one hit anyway. Now if you're into bow, crossbow, or throwing, I will leave up to you. They do the same. Throwing is keep an eye. If you have throwing for your companions, they don't use throwing weapons very smart. On a horse, not, and personally also not. Better to stay away. For roleplay reason, okay, do it, but if you are looking for something efficient, don't. They're surprisingly good with polearms though, but that's it. Riding and athletics is very important because, frankly, if you just have like athletics, like here, this little Gertland, it's awful. Oh yeah, maybe to tell you how to raise these skills on your companions, simply give them, for example, you want to raise bow, you go into his equipment, just give him a bow and only arrows and let him shoot. Bringing on foot, go into a simple battle and let him attack until he falls over. Right? That is the best way for them. But keep in mind, if they have very low bow accuracy, you want to give them a horse. Because on a horse, they go closer and they actually have a chance of hitting something. But yeah. Weapon skills are not the fastest to raise past 150. Riding and athletics is the same. You can also see, like, I am combat oriented, but it's not that high for me, and I do have 10 endurance. But I do have 10 endurance for smithing. Smithing is a great skill for making money. It's infinite money. I don't want to explain it right here. I have a little guide on that, but to show you how powerful it actually is, I will at least go here into the trading section. Oh man, that took a while. You can see I sold them a couple of weapons. I think this was worth 60,000 when I crafted it, and also still do have some, like, they're not very expensive though. Those are piss poor. But bottom line is, create something of value, which is not that hard. The more value it has, the more smithing experience it gives you. Like for example, I was jumping from 200 to 206 in one single craft, or my lower companions went from 1 smithing to 20, right, in a single craft. No problem. Super easy to raise. How you raise riding is basically you have to deal damage while using any of the weapons, or you travel the map. Athletics is the same. You just can't raise athletics on the map if you have a horse. So take the horse away and it would grow. Smithing of your companions, you level by smithing with them. You know, this is not known, but to everyone, that is how you do it. You let them smith. Scouting is kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy and is really good, really valuable stuff in there. Here, Forced March, I am not sure if it works, because as you can see here, we are already getting a speed bonus for higher morale. It's 0.22, it's not a little. But party morale is kept at 100, which means I'm gonna take this. Leadership is not that good. Garrison size is the garrison size in this game are fucking tremendous. So it's whatever. You don't need it. It doesn't matter if you have 100 more men or 50 more men. And the well, morale is kept at 100. So as you can see, I am not a good leader, and I'm still over the cap, and I don't even have food variety. Tactics is very good skill. I'm not sure if the later ones all work, these skills, where the ambush archers deliver 60% more damage in simulation forest. I don't know if it works. But for your party members, it's also important, because that is basically the way they fight. They will also, if you make them a party, they will raise it. As you can see, he has XP in it, and it keeps raising as he fights, basically. What will raise when they are in the is tactics, roguery, steward, and medicine. He's been a party leader a long time still. This is a bug though. At least when he recruits people, he should be gaining leadership. They don't. Charm, they don't gain. Trade, they don't gain on their own. They will, even if they're in a party, still use the weapons that you gave them and raise their riding athletics. Keep in mind, for example, you see here 1 endurance, 110 riding, 70 athletics. Well, pretty damn good. I actually don't think that 110 riding is possible on 2 focus points, but that's just me. If you have something like this, it's perfect, it's not wasted. What you do not want to have in your companions is attribute points in social, because you cannot raise these skills, and that means you cannot get the green bar filled for levels. Let's say, for example, here, right? This green means it's still easy for me to level this and get him to higher levels, and then giving me a focus point to put into something else that I want on him. Okay? A very good example of a crappy character is my wife. She has 4 in charm, in social, and it literally cripples me in leveling her. It literally cripples me. Because I can raise nothing of this. Her steward is already capped. It's a pain. I have her as a surgeon right now to at least get a bit of medicine out of her, but that will come to a stop soon. Only thing I can still do is letting her grow ham more with 2 handers. But as you can see, we're kind of fucked on her. Okay. Where was I? Yeah, we were on roguery gives more loot. If it works, I don't know. But I can tell you at 38, I'm just getting crap as loot. Flip side is roguery is mostly raised by raiding villages. And that is has a very devastating effect. Very, very devastating effect. You do not want this. Unless you want, like, okay, if you know, okay, in this corner of the map I will never do it. I will never take these for myself. Go ham. But all these cities are gonna starve. The reason being, you can look here at Maronas is my city, and I will explain to you how I got it, because I did not capture it by force. It has a lot of prosperity. It has 437 militia, and it's still growing strongly. I also didn't dump shit into anything. It's just steadily growing. The reason are these little cities, I protected them for years. No, not years, but a year at least. So the hearts are very high. It's what that is the important part, the hearts. It's a population. It raises by 1 every day, and if it's raided, or if it loses militia, or if it loses villagers, you can see the villager size is 36. Rather on the small end, it loses hearts. So if you raid it and deduct, for example, 200 hearts, that is 200 days of progress lost. But now also the militia is smaller. That means lords are more likely to raid it. The villager size is less. Now looters are more likely to attack those parties or disrupt the flow of food, and then you won't have the 12, but for example 6, and so on. Here you can see, man, this is it's quite a city. But I've protected this entire region for a good while, which means if I saw like a bigger group of bandits, I would take it. But here you see it has 1,400 hearts. I think it was never raided. Militia is 132. It starts rivaling towns, you know, and the villagers groups are 78. It's basically looters are not gonna touch it almost ever. Of course, there's these 80 groups, but the 80 groups are so slow, the villagers are gonna run around it. Now we've talked briefly about money, right? About smithy and so on. We've done this. Yeah, how did I get Marunath? Marunath, I joined the Battanian Kingdom. Obviously, like the buttons are different since I'm king now, but what I did is I pressed this button, and then it forces the king to make a new selection. Like it passes almost, I think, always, and then the king has to select a new dude, and you will be on that list. And if you don't have anything at that time, you will be given priority, so it's likely that he will vote for you. I needed to do this twice, and then I had Marunath, and then I roleplayed a bit with it. Of course, now I'm king, I can't do it anymore, but here this would be the button, right? You click it, and then the king decides. So make sure your relationship with the king is good. Make sure you don't have anything, and then you're fine. But now you say, okay, how to get that influence? Well, the easiest way to get influence is basically capture a lord, and then you go back to a friendly castle, and you just donate those prisoners. Every lord, like lord party as a whole, is worth about 50. It depends on what you give, but it's about 50 influence. So just go back and forth, capture a lord, back forth, and boom, you have 200 in a couple of seconds. Click the button, vote yourself, hope for the best. Sorry if I'm saying something for the third time or so. I just wanted to get this out here, and I see we are 12 minutes, so I still have 15 minutes to go. Okay. Weapon skills you raise by using it, riding and athletics as well. Smithing, I told you, craft something valuable and it flies. Scouting, like a self-fulfilling prophecy, the more you have, the easier it is raised, because you then see more tracks and so on, right? It raises this pretty well. Charm, you go and basically barter, like grab a horse, tell them give me your horse for 500 dinars or something. It will give you a couple of points, but even more if you join the elections and decide for something, you will get charm there as well. Releasing lords after you've captured them, just instead of taking them prisoner, you let them go, will give you charm. Leadership is not a great skill, but except for disciplinarian. But if you have disciplinarian, your game is over, because nobody's gonna be able to stop you. What you do is just call in an army. I can't do it right now, but what you do, you would always just grab your companions. They don't cost you any influence, and in fact, they give you, because they are an army, that it will even give you influence for that. I kind of wish it was different, but you know, now he's coming over. Can you already see it? Voter the Brave to be at army plus 0.34, right? Oh yeah, on the flip side here, if you're a mercenary and donate those prisoners, that will be insane amount of money instantly, because you're paid per influence point. So instead of hunting one looter, you know, for that one influence point or two, donate a couple of prisoners and you get 50. And if you're paid 300 gold For example, like go to weak faction, they will pay you 300 gold per influence point. Not only will, like, okay, you will lose it over time, right? But that will be a lot of gold for when you start out. I can't show you right now, but this is what I will basically do the next time. I will go to the weakest fucking faction, say I'm your mercenary, and then I'm just gonna dump a castle full. Flip side is even, you know, if you always dump the prisoners into the same castle, do it in a castle that you want to take, because then all those prisoners you can recruit, which is one of the recruitment methods you can use. Let's say you're mercenary, right? And you see a lord is fighting something that he will barely lose to. Now the enemy lord is gonna take a lot of prisoners, right? And when you defeat that lord, all these prisoners that he has become troops that you can immediately take for yourself. Whatever it is. Right now, if you take prisoners, some of them you will never be able to recruit. Usually the high tier ones, right? So instead of going to help and rescuing the day, you just wait a couple of seconds, make sure those units become prisoners, and then you take the prisoners for your own army. Likewise, you can use your companions to recruit, because here, let me quickly show you. He will now come over. There he is. No, there he is. Hello. Now I can talk to the party leader, and if I talk to my companion, I can inspect the troops, and then either I give him or I take, right? So for example, this way, if he had like 80, I could remove 40 of those, put them in the garrison, and then he would be filling my garrison. And since you can have 3 parties, I must leave now. We can have more, but that's later. I can have 3 right now. I'm clan tier 4. Oh, even missing 1. Ah, he's missing 1. Oh god, in Varchek. He's never gonna make it past the looters. But it's okay, he has a chance to make it. And, well, basically that is that. So I explained to you how to get influence really quick. Okay, one more thing about here, movement speed. Base movement speed, that is basically how many men do you have. And then cavalry and footmen on horses, that's a ratio. If I remove footmen now, footmen on horses will go down, but cavalry will go up by a lot more, right? So a strictly horse army is a lot faster than footmen on horses. Cargo within capacity, that means I'm too close to my limit. I'm not overburdened, but if I reduce it some more, I would lose that 007. Herd means I have too many animals. It can be like it's horses, whatever. It's probably horses in my case. Then of course, high morale is good. As you can see, there's 3 more morale. I lost 0.03. It's quite a lot. But yeah, don't waste your time, you know, hunting after looters with like 5.2 speed. Just make yourself a party that has like 6.3 speed and hunt down lords. Like couple mounted archers, couple of normal dudes, couple of archers. You don't even need melee troops. Just like, let's say 50 archers, 25 normal cavalry, 25 horse archers. Absolutely golden. You will get all of them unless it's like a 200 or like a king running around with 300. Grab it, make tons of money, but I think you need, for tons of money, you need roguery to actually get something that is not fucking cracked or slapped or whatever. They have like a million names for it. It's all garbage. But if you want real money, like abusive amounts of money, I made that with smithing. A word on yeah, we'll do that actually. Am I healthy? I am healthy. I will show you maybe how to quickly handle a hideout. Is that the bow that I usually use? I think so. And what is with the special arrows that I had? Whatever, I guess they are gone. Well, that should be enough. Unless this is like super full. So this is just 5. Okay, if it only has like one marker, one group, then this becomes an instant one-on-one. Of course. Okay, we'll show you. That really quick. Oh, jeez. Dismiss from army. Do your shit. I hope I haven't not forgotten anything. Okay, we're at the 20-minute mark. See, we will go instantly into the final one-on-one. I have not talked about. Yes. Should have slapped him on the first time, but my swing went over his head. I still want to talk about tournaments and how to do them quickly. And win them almost guaranteed. It will be when you start out, it's a great way to make money by betting on yourself and, of course, winning. Yeah, well, Azariah, we'll be waiting for your armies. Tell me when you're here. I hope this is a bigger one. This here is a bigger one, but it's Mountain Bandits. It's not as devastating as this. Can I show it here? I think so. Yeah, it's like 19 of them, alright. It could be more, okay, but I don't want to run around 10 minutes now looking for something else. I just want to show you how to clear them safely. The units that are taken are random, right? But what is not random is your companions will always come. So you equip your companions with shields. This is a trained spearman. Who is this? What happened to her shield? It's there. Okay. Then you go into form and you say shield wall. Tell them what to face to. Alright. Is that not a dude? It is a dude. They can take hundreds of arrows. I mean, where you just sit there. And the next group is a bit bigger. You refill. I'm not that sure if it's actually bigger. Sorry, this is way too small. I could just... Well, they are tanking some shots, right? You can see the general idea. But I'm... there he is. I've cleared out like nests that are over 100 like this. Slow and steady wins the race. Oh. Someone announces himself. I could stand further behind and that would be even safer. And then top you can see when the boss will spawn. It will spawn now. So we swap weapons. That concludes the duel. Here, why disciplinarian is good, right? Bushwhacker becomes a forest bandit, and then this becomes a battalion fiend champion, which is, both 280, athletics 220, and then also two-handed to boot. Athletics also not so bad, I think. Yeah, the athletics 220. It's insane. They're like little fucking Sonics. Worth a couple of thousands. Doesn't have to be the best shields also, so you can do that relatively early. Now, on to arenas. Okay, I have a lot of gear right now, but I really didn't make it. You can do this day one. If Poros has a tournament, I bet on myself all the way and win. Because there is tricks to this. Oh, it's one of mine! These, whereas there's only two groups, are a bit like rougher at the start. Because you have to win. If it's multicolored, like, then you don't have to be the last man standing. No problem, especially as a horseman. One on one. This is the technique you will always use to win. Like this. They will never counterclockwise around them and swing like this. They will not defeat you. Now to the topic, maybe I can get a chamber block off here. There we go. There we go. Chamber blocking is with the start, like where you pull back, right? You want to do this on the side where you would normally block. And just before it hits you, catch it with that start where you pull the sword back. On the left is especially easy, but your weapons have to make contact. That is why up and down is hard. Left is the easiest because you have the most time, and right is the hardest because it's basically already in your face. Alright? Do this, bet on yourself every round, and then after you're done, you just enter the arena, talk to the dude, and say, hey man, where's the next one? There's a Rote and Jamaris. Every time you finish a tournament, another one pops up. Rote, Jamaris. Okay, Rote is right next to us. Okay, Rote is there. And then there, if I would be starting right, you get about 1,200, and then the item as well, 2 to 3,000. You do 5 or 6 tourneys, and you have your first workshop. At the start, brew will not give as much as you. Oh, that's influence. Will not give as much because the cities are not big enough. But as the cities grow, brewery becomes more and more important. And now that you understand that you have to protect those villages from looters, from raids, your cities will be prosperous as well. Rote is probably, I think, yeah, it's doing okay. It's doing okay. Lageta, on the other hand, not so much. So we go to the arena, and I will win you another one. really quick. I don't even know if I was hit last journey, but yes, if you're smithing, smith those weapons that they give you. Smith them, and if you start out, no, just go to the guide. It will explain it easier. Here, always works. No problem. Get this motion. Practice it in the mirror, okay? This is the motion you want. The the quickest tournaments are, by the way, in Batania because it's two-handed. I already thought it was the last round. All right. That's a hero character, isn't it? His swing looked very fast. Oh yeah, Altanos. They have more skill, and this attack more swiftly. But they don't attack at all if you go counterclockwise around them. What do we get? Yeah, that sword. Alright. 31 minutes. I wanted to finish this in 30 minutes. If you have any questions, add them in the comments. I will answer them. If you have like problems, and it's all good. Okay?